I call this December 15th meeting, 25, Robertson County Commission in order. Commissioners, you can do your roll call now.
Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner White.
I'm trying to get to it.
I thought. Say.
Thank you.
I tried that.
Okay, we got 23 present, 2 absent. I declare we do have a quorum. Chair recognizes Commissioner Rumble, do our invocation, followed by a pledge to the flag. Will everybody please stand?
Our heads to pray, please. Heavenly Father, we just come before you this evening and we thank you for opportunities to serve our community. Lord, we thank you for giving us wisdom to make good and sound decisions on behalf of the people. Father, we also remember the season that we're in right now, and we thank you for the gift of your Son. Lord, you say in your word that you gave your only begotten Son to bring salvation to the world. And we thank you for that, Lord, the gift you gave so freely and generously. Father, we're mindful of those who have lost loved ones this year. We ask that you be with them and comfort them during this time. And Father, we pray especially that you'll bring health and healing to our esteemed mayor, and you'll touch his body during this time of struggle that he's enduring. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Rumble.
Man.
Commissioners, in your package is the minutes from the previous meeting. I'll take a motion to approve. Got a motion by Roberts. Got a second by Commissioner Couch. All in favor, say aye. Anybody oppose that? I'm declared the minutes are approved. Thank you. All right, my communications are pretty short. Got a call today. The governor's gonna be in Robertson County tomorrow. Y'all listen to me now, it's kind of complicated. Small town startup up at the old courthouse. Everybody knows where that at?
Yeah.
They're asking people if you want to come to be there at 9:30, but he won't arrive till 10, but they don't want a big crowd of people when he's trying to get in there. But he's gonna walk all the way down to Southside Drugs. He's gonna stop at Muriel, or what do you call it we got? I was in the leadership class that did that. And if you're on whatever side of the road you're on, it'd be nice if you just come visit and see the governor, because this is part of his, some kind of tour he's doing, and walking down main streets and see how it's improved, because the state has given a lot of money to these cities to try to improve downtowns where they've gone down and try to get them back up to life. Springfield's worked hard on that square up there. So in my second communication, I'm going to ask Lee White to please come up. Lee's going to recognize the South Haven volleyball team as 2025 state champs.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
All right. I appreciate everyone being here, esteemed
Is
guests.
any of them here?
Yes, sir. I was going to get them up, so
Okay, there you go, Lee.
the volleyball team to come on up this way. I appreciate you all being here. This is my alma mater. I went there and so did my children, and so very happy to have them here and to represent our school and to represent Robertson County for sure. This proclamation is whereas as the South Haven volleyball team is worthy of recognition and honor for the team's hard work in the 2025 season and advancing to the postseason, and whereas according to Coach Sarah Vanderhanks, The team showed up strong for the Tennessee Athletic Association of Christian Schools state tournament, with the girls winning every match. And whereas the final match occurred on October 24th, with the team defeating the Berean Academy Eagles from Chattanooga, Tennessee, after going 4 sets. And whereas Gracie Loffman was the tournament MVP with 21 kills, 4 blocks, and 100% serve accuracy, leading South Haven to victory. Whereas Danidia Beristain, Polina Latova also received all tournament honors, proving the entire team worked together and encouraged greatness in each other. Now, therefore, as a representative of Mayor William A. Vogel, as Robertson County Mayor on behalf of our county, do hereby recognize and honor the South Haven volleyball team as the 2025 Tennessee Athletic Association of Christian Schools state champions. I know all of the team couldn't be here right now. They have, it's conflicting with basketball, so some of our girls are there playing a basketball game. However, is there anything that you would like to say on behalf of the girls as to the tenacity or their hard work or whatever? You all can be seated.
I didn't know I was going to be asked.
I know, that's why I said that. I know that.
Well, it was just an honor to coach them this year. It was kind of a season that we had some really good times and some really bad times. And then at the end, they really just came together, and they were an amazing team at playing together and just encouraging each other and working together. We didn't have anybody who was the star of the show, but they all just played their part, and they did a fantastic job.
That's awesome. That sounds like what Robertson County does right there. We all just come together and play along. Commissioner Hart, if you want to come up here, because this is in Division 10 or our County Commission 10 or whatnot, and we'll get clerk to take a picture, and Mayor, you just smile back there and we'll.
I'm doing the best I can.
Ladies.
Thank you, Commissioner White.
Amen.
Couldn't have done that good a job. Maybe in communication, I just want to add one thing. If you notice, the Madam Clerk has given everybody the sales tax we collected from the cities. And of course, Robertson County gives it to, that's our part where we help go to the schools. It's a pretty good sum you see there. And it goes with, I think the state's up around 82-83%. What they donate, and we had to make up the rest. So it goes toward anything the schools, well, they come to the budget committee first. But it's what the budget committee agrees for them to spend that money on. Pretty good reading. I don't know what we do without sales tax in the state, because we are a sales tax state. All right, this time I'll ask for public comments from the crowd that want to speak on anything that we've got on the agenda other than zoning. That time will come afterwards.
Madison Haynes.
Madison Haynes. You need to come up, ma'am. State your, well, we know your name, but Madison Haynes and where you live.
Clyde Richard is actually referred till item 10.
Okay, okay.
Pierre Alexander.
Pierre, Madam Clerk has a strict rule of 3 minutes, and she'll have the, when you hear it ding, it's either started or you're fixing to have to quit.
So I spoke a month ago to you all, and today I'm here to speak again in support of the new development, Beresford Village, in regards to everything that's going on with that and the TIF and whatnot. So we all know the growth is inevitable, and I truly feel as though this development looks out for, the youth, looks out for all these different aspects of it that are going to be beneficial to the county and to the city as well. So I just wanted to keep it short and sweet and say my support for that.
Thank you.
Billy Riley.
Do we have to go all the way up front?
Yes, sir, you do. Yeah, I want to look at the back of your head.
You may get a little reflection there.
State your address, Brother Joe.
Good evening. I'm Billy Riley and it's 403 Fifth Avenue West, Springfield, right here in town and right there in the historic district. But since my wife and I moved in there, they call it the hysterical district now. But I'm for this growth and all we need the growth. If people really want something for their kids to do, that's the reason why we don't have a bowling alley anymore, skating rings, and stuff like that. Although we do have good parks. Yeah, and but just things are going to change. And my granddaddy told me years ago, and he can't imagine what this county is going to be like by the time I'm his age, and he was 80 something at that time, and I was in my 30s. And he never did see a cell phone like that, but he did see paved roads. And he went from a horse to a car, tractor from mules to tractors and all like that. So change is going to happen. Clarksville's growing, Nashville's growing. People are going to have a place to live. Let's put them on smaller acreage, smaller lots, instead of building wide lots, big yards, and then people not attending to them. And that's all I've got to say about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tiffany Thompson.
I just have to clarify because of my position. I can't say whether I'm for or against anything, but I can say what we do need in this
Say
county.
your address.
Oh, 106
There you
Kemper
go.
Court.
All right.
Sorry, I
We gotta keep it
apologize.
For the record.
For the record, 106 Kemper Court, Springfield. Anyway, I can speak that we do need more opportunities for children. We, as a board member of Generations Next, last month, you guys all got to hear what we're planning on doing. And part of that is childcare. If you know anybody who's looking for childcare in Robertson County, especially Springfield, you know that it's in short supply. And good quality childcare really matters when it comes to children having positive childhood experiences. And that happens to be something I'm very passionate about, that children need to be able to feel loved. They need to be able to have experiences every day that help them see their value. And so we want to be able to see positive growth in our community that shows that there's a place for children in our community. And that's what Generations Next is doing. And that's what they hope to be able to do with their FEMA project, to be able to also add on childcare, to be able to provide more for the children in our community. So I'm excited about the possibilities, and I'm excited to see what happens.
All right. Okay, seeing there's no one else from the audience, I'll bring this back to the county commission. Commissioners, I will do our reports now. Start with the highway report. Any questions or comments? Trustees report, any questions or comments? Planning, any questions or comments? Animal control, any questions or comments? EMA, any questions or comments? Let me get back to animal control. We could use some people just like to adopt a few animals during the holidays. We're there 7 days a week. Takes a lot of work to keep them all fed and stalls cleaned out, but it'd be a good time for somebody to go get a Christmas present. Fire report, any questions or comments? Veteran Services, any questions or comments? EMS, any questions or comments? Solid Waste, any questions or comments? Last, Finance, any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to file the reports. I got a motion by Roberts. And I got a second by Commissioner Woodard. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed to filing the reports? Hearing none, reports are filed. Chair next recognizes Commissioner Stubblefield from the Nomination Committee.
Mr. Mayor, Madam Clerk, Ms. Donaldson, fellow commissioners, and ladies and gentlemen of the audience. The nominating committee has met, and we would like to bring the following nominations to you. There are two. The first one is for Highway Commissioner. Mr. Willie Peach is retiring. He has been on the board for multiple years. I don't remember, 9 years. And we
Is
would,
that Willie back there?
yeah,
Stand up, Willie, where everybody can recognize you. Stand up.
we appreciate your service and what you've done with our county. But he is retiring and we are putting in placing in nomination his son, David Peach, to fill out the rest of his term until it expires.
Yeah, let me say, this was advertised in the paper and David's the only one applied. So, I think we appreciate you doing that. Okay,
He can give some good advice, I think, from his dad. Okay, and also we have the airport board. This would be the county representative that we're nominating. Mr. Jerry Converse is leaving the board, and we would like to nominate Megan Baird as his replacement.
the airport, they interviewed candidates and they highly recommend this lady. She's a West Point graduate. You don't hear that much and, she's got her own helicopter. She's well qualified to be on the airport board. Yeah. Need a motion, I guess Faye made the motion, need a second. You got a second by Christopher Moore. Any questions for Faye at all?
Mr. Chairman, we voted for both of these at the same time.
Yes, sir.
I don't hear any question. Before these folks being appointed to these committees, you want to vote, voice vote? Say aye.
Aye.
You want to oppose? So moved. They are hereby elected and appreciate them willing to serve. Okay, at this time I open it back up to the public, our public hearing for planning and zoning. Pam, you and Hunter want to come up? Again, y'all brought some help with you. Again, the public is invited to speak. If you signed the paper, you got 3 minutes, state your name and address. Who you got first, Madam Clerk? You don't have anybody? I'll bring it back to us. Y'all are, forget about the public hearing. That's unusual. All right, Hunter, take off.
Resolution number 121525099, Theta Overby request to rezone 4.68 surveyed acres from AG2 to RP 80 located at 4030 Armstrong Road, tax map 082, parcel 190.00, 8th voting district. The planning commission recommended by a vote of 5-0.
Okay. I need a motion.
Motion.
And second, I got a motion by Doris and a second by Couch. Any questions for Hunter about this resolution?
Question.
Question being called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. Twenty-two for, 0 against, that resolution passes. Thank you, Hunter. You want to turn this over to someone else now?
I'm going to read, but then he'll answer questions.
All right. Okay.
Resolution number 121525100, a resolution of the Robertson County Commission to amend the building codes by adopting the 2021 International Building Code, including appendixes A through J, the 2021 International Residential Code, including appendixes A through J and M through Q, and all amendments except for section R 313.2, 1 and 2 family dwellings, automatic fire systems, and chapter 11, energy efficiency, including all amendments and state rules and regulations as listed below, and to repeal any resolution or parts of resolutions that conflict here within.
I'm sure the commission's done read this.
If you have questions, Trent's here.
All right.
Get a motion and then.
Yeah, give me a motion to adopt this resolution.
Motion.
Got a motion by Doris, second by Commissioner Head Hebert. Okay, you got any questions at all? You look through there, some of them make a lot of sense. Yep, no rooms containing fuel burning appliances is deleted in entirety. something to do with skylights too. You want to comment on this? Don't be bashful.
Like I say, what we're doing is staying within compliance of the state codes. We got to be within 5 years of compliance. So we want to go to the 2021. The state is fixing to go to the 2024. So this will keep us in compliance, you know. So, like I say, as far as the energy codes and stuff like that goes, we're staying in compliance.
I believe you.
Yeah. I'll address that. We're staying in compliance with the energy codes as stated in the 2018s. There's some that we're omitting out of there. As far as, like I say, skylights and the U factors and stuff like that are concerned.
Okay, anybody got any questions?
Question.
Question being called. For this resolution, vote yes. If against it, vote no. I'll have to explain this on the radio in the morning. I got 22-4-0 against. That resolution passes. Thank y'all. And thank you for the work you do.
Yes.
Amen.
All right. Go now to our resolutions. The chair recognizes Bobby Couch, Chairman of the Budget Committee.
Madam Clerk, Mayor, honored guests, fellow commissioners. I'd like to present to you Resolution 121-525-101. This is a resolution that affects the election board. There's the funds needed for Kathy Hamsley's buyout. She retires in February. I think that's correct. And it also funds the election to replace Congressman Mark Green when he resigned.
Okay, got a second by Roberts. Any questions for Commissioner Couch? Question been called. If you pull that resolution, vote yes. If you against it, vote no. We got 22-4-0 against. That resolution passes. Commissioner Couch.
All right, this is Resolution 121-525-102. This is a resolution for the Sheriff's Department, Public Safety Grants, Law Enforcement Grant, and they're taking that much in and they're showing how they're spending it.
Okay, I got
outlay and licensed vehicle outlay.
All right, I got a second by Commissioner Summers. Anybody got a question from Bobby Couch now? Question being called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If against it, vote no. Appreciate the sheriff's office getting these grants. They're a big help.
Makes it easier. Yes, sir.
A lot of work too. 22-4-0 against. That resolution passes. Commissioner Couch.
Yes, sir. This is Resolution 121-525-103. And these are funds, miscellaneous funds to repair the blower motor so people can pay their taxes without food outside.
Question.
It was welcome.
I got a second by Moore.
Question.
And question also being called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If against it, vote no. Folks, don't nothing slip by this budget committee. Got 22-4-0 against. That resolution passes. Commissioner Couch.
Yes, sir. This is Resolution 121-525-104. And this is from the ambulance service. They were able to move some line items around and are going to use that to fund some part-time help at the White House station because we've staffed another ambulance there and they run during the day. And from what Brent tells us, it's decreased their their call times quite a bit, and they're getting a lot of use out of it. And
A
this
lot of use.
is something he thought would help them continue that trend.
Usually when an ambulance goes down 65, they're either headed to Skyline or Vanderbilt. If they go to Vanderbilt, sometime them guys is gone 4 or 5 hours. We got to have another ambulance sitting up there getting ready to go. I got a second by Morgan. Question. Question being called. If you're for that resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. We got 22-4-0 against that resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioner Cowles. Chair now recognizes Commissioner Faith Stubblefield speaking for the Highway Department.
Okay, I bring to you resolution number 121-525-105. This is a resolution making changes to the official maintenance road list and map.
Got a second by Commissioner Roman. Any questions for Commissioner Stubblefield? Troy Atkins couldn't make it tonight. Thank goodness he's got a virus. And we didn't need him here. He could explain this, but this is something we do every year. State requires us to look at the road map, delete or what roads we've added during the year. And Madam Clerk has a map up here afterwards if you want to look at it after the meeting. Question. Check it out. Question being called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. Against it, vote no. At 22-4-0 against, that resolution passes. Commissioner Stubblefield.
Resolution number 121-525-106. This is a resolution adopting the official maintenance road list for Robertson County.
The year 2026. Okay, I got a second by Commissioner Hogan. Any questions?
Question.
Question been called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. I got 22-4-0 against, that resolution passes too. All right. You got one more.
One more. Resolution number 121-525-107. This is a resolution adopting the official 2026 road map for Robertson County, Tennessee.
Change.
Change it.
You did changes.
All right, got a second by Commissioner Roberts. Okay, question be called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. Briefly. Okay. At 22-4-0 against, that resolution passes. Chair, thank you, Mr. Stubblefield. Chair recognizes Commissioner Martin.
Good evening. This is to resolve surplus property from the Board of Education, whereas the Robertson County Board of Education is the owner of certain equipment as set forth in the attached list. The list is available should you choose to see it. Now therefore be resolved by the Robertson County Commission today in regular session, the 15th of December, 2025, that these items on the attached list previously used by Robertson County are declared to be surplus property. This is resolution, and I need a second.
Got a second by Commissioner Michael Doris. Question being called on surplus property. For that resolution, vote yes. If you vote no. At 22-4-0 against, that resolution passes.
Also dealing with resolution 121-525-109, which is a little bit wordy here, but it is about property taxes and rounding. Where Tennessee Code annotated 67-5-102 authorizes counties to levy ad valorem taxes upon property. The section directs that the amount of such tax shall be fixed by the county legislative body. I'm going to go to the really important part here. Now be it therefore resolved that the Robertson County Commission in regular session on the 15th day of December 2025, and that the office of the county trustee is hereby authorized to round individual ad valorem property taxes and interest to the nearest dollar. Such rounding shall be applied uniformly to all property tax bills in the county for both real and personal property. And such property is locally assessed or centrally assessed and shall be accomplished by the rounding amount in the amount of 0.01 to 0.49 down to the nearest dollar value, and in the values of 0.50 to 99 up to the nearest dollar value. I need a second.
I got a second by Commissioner Blue Ray Dars. Question been called on this. For it, this resolution, vote yes. Against it, vote no. When everybody's calling Kendra, tell them the state did this. Got 22 for, 0 against. That resolution passes. Chair now recognizes Commissioner Bobby Counts, Chairman of the Budget.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Martin.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, we'll do it again.
One more time.
All right, this is resolution 121-525-110. This is a resolution to approve the economic impact plan for the Vesper Village development area. Pretty wordy, and unless somebody wants me to, I won't read it to you because you probably don't need me to. What it says in effect is that we will establish a TIF to allow over a 15-year period. I think that's right. And I can get corrections. We make somebody a member if you want to ask more questions, so that they can, for the amount of $27,500,000 plus interest. And I'm going to tell you the short version is, if this passes, they will build a road that's got turning lanes and sidewalks and street lights and traffic signals, and have a traffic plan. They've done a traffic study. They'll do it according to that. And their plan is to attempt to attract restaurants and grocery stores and other retail devices before they build a 3,300 housing development, which are going to be single family homes and multifamily dwellings. And I'm sure I'm missing some of it, but we had a pretty lengthy meeting with the budget committee about that, and it was laid out pretty clearly. If people want to ask questions, I'm not going to tell you I'm an expert on it. I'm sure there are people here we could make a member of this commission.
I'd like to see that, Commissioner Counts. I've noticed there's a lot of people don't understand it. But if I get a motion from the county commission to make these people a member of the court.
So move.
Got a motion by Robert. I'm going to use your second, Commissioner Rowland. All in favor, say aye. Aye. You want to oppose? Y'all please come up, Jason. Clyde, you want to sit back there, or you want to come up too? Are you comfortable?
Yeah. We have a time limit.
Yes, we got a time limit, folks. We do have a time limit.
Okay, appreciate it.
Well, Madam Clerk says we don't.
Yes, we don't.
You start hearing me coughing.
Sir, I'm not a litigator by trade. I'm a deal lawyer, so I hopefully will need less than 3 minutes. Yes, I am a lawyer. My name is Madison Haynes, and I'm an attorney with Bradley. I work with Tom Trent, who I know has probably been before this board many times before on other deals and in different capacities. We're here representing Vesper Village. We have Jake Muse here with the developer, as well as Jason Ripsher with Barge Engineering. And I'm going to kind of hit the high points of the actual TIF and entertain any questions that you have. And if some come up later, I'm happy to come to the mic. I know Clyde will be able to clean up anything that I miss as well. And Jake and Jason are going to kind of more talk about the specifics of the actual development, what they're planning to build, what it's going to look like, kind of their plan, especially I know we had a lot of questions about the traffic study and what those improvements were going to look like, as well as the EMS site that now is part of the project, thanks to the budget committee that I know that everybody's excited about. Yes, sir.
For the rest of the people in the very back, could you just move the mic closer to you? That's great. Thank you.
How does that sound? Is that better?
Everybody here, raise your hand back here, Sarge, Major. Can't hear nothing.
Well, I'll just speak louder.
There you go.
I can speak louder, no worries. So, this project is a tax increment financing that, there's a few in Robertson County already. But really what this is going to allow for is to allow this developer to utilize the growth in property tax value that they receive from this project to reimburse them for building public infrastructure. Things that otherwise the county could have issued bonds for, use their property taxes for, things that are going to benefit the public. And here it's a really kind of clear-cut project, and that is the road that is going to connect Tom Austin and Main Street. And so I know that there was a concept plan that was included in your packet, and it's kind of broken up into two parts, but the way that this is going to work is that the developer has 1 year after the effective date. So assuming with a positive vote tonight, hopefully sometime early next year, 1 year after that, to start construction of the two ends of the road. You'll see it's kind of segmented there. And they have then 3 years to complete that. Importantly, before construction or at the time before completion, the entire road has to be bonded. And they are going to carry a performance bond on the entire road for the duration of the project, which guarantees that the road is going to be done and that it can be called upon if the worst case scenario happens, which I think is a really key piece of this. Then within 2 years, so within 5 years after they start construction, the road will connect to substantial completion. And so all that really means, at least in the way that you'll see in our documents, is that it's everything but a top coat. And so it'll be open to the public to be able to be used and likely finished off, within that 1 year kind of warranty period after that, just depending on where construction is of those pieces. So kind of that's what the developers are going to do to the tune of $27.5 million with interest. And that is what the county and the city are willing to put up in their property tax. And what the whole entire project is going to result in to the county. Right now, that property is generating $42,609 in property tax. Over the life of this project, with the multifamily and the commercial that are going to be built out, it's expected to hit $94.6 million in property taxes total. So how the TIF works is, and I use this example in the budget committee, and so I apologize to budget committee members, but I think it's helpful, at least in the way that I've learned these deals, is that in the TIF, everyone will continue to pay their property taxes the same way. All the property taxpayers for all the parcels that are included in the larger TIF area. What kind of happens is on the back end. And so once all the money from all the different taxpayers, because this is going to include residential, it's going to include commercial, lots of parcels, and the trustee and the property assessor will work together to determine kind of what that pot of money looks like, or what that amount is every year. And then of that pot of money, it then gets divided in certain ways based on the deal. So the first piece that comes out is that base taxes to the county, the $42,609. Then the next piece is in the TIF statute that all TIFs have to abide by, the city and the county here, is the portion of the property tax that is earmarked for debt service. Currently in Robertson County, that's 12.2% annually. That's going to fluctuate throughout the 20 years of the TIF, but whatever that amount is going back to the county to be paid for that debt service. Then the next piece, this is all before the developer gets a dime, mind you, that there'll be 32.8% of I imagine the money sitting on the table, and as it's getting divided up, that 32.8% is coming back to the county as to be anticipated to help pay for the Robertson County schools. So as the budget committee, we kind of discussed, it's up to this body in your budget process, how that money actually gets allocated. That's the intent of the deal. And so then with what's left, with the remainder, there's a 70-30 split between the developer and the county. So the developer will get 70% of what's left, and the county will receive an additional 30%. That again can be used for schools. It can be used for EMS purposes. It can be used for, I know we talked about trash, solid waste, any and all things that just to benefit the county services in general. And they also it doesn't have to be spent on the services in that parcel either. It's countywide into the general coffers. So I think that it is a really, really interesting project. I will tell you, and Tom told me this today, that this was one of the most complicated ones that we've ever worked on. But once we figured out what the deal was, it ended up being simple. And it's that, the county and the city, they do not give the developer a penny until the east and the west portions, which you'll kind of see are the two segments. They're about half a mile each coming in before those get completed. And then the developers' TIF payments will kick in. And then the center portion will be completed about 2 years after that. So I am happy to answer any questions with that. I know a lot of you all that have heard about economic development have think about cost benefit ratios. This project has a 3.09 cost benefit ratio, which means for every new dollar of property tax, or for every $1 of that's spent, $3.09, so $3.09 of new property tax and new taxes to the county are coming in. So it's a tripled benefit. And I think that it's something that I've heard a lot of commissioners, and at least in our conversations with Jake, that everyone is very excited about having a road that connects. Jake will mention in his kind of talks is that this is a little bit different than how this would normally be done. Normally you'd have to wait for the people to come before you would build the road. And that's how you would normally have to get it financed. Because right now it's a road to nowhere. But it's really important for the people that live here already to have that road connect. And so I will entertain any questions, but we'll also turn it over to the developers to kind of give you an overview of what they're looking at building.
Bo, if you got a question for this lady, or you want to wait till the developer gets done?
Well, I don't mind. I can wait till she wants to answer it, or?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer. Yeah.
Okay. I understood you say Tom Austin. So you're going to go over South Main all the way to Tom Austin Highway?
Did I say the wrong road? I did. I'm so sorry. As soon as I said it, I was like, no, that's right. It's South Main.
That was a big help right there.
I know. I'm so sorry. No, as soon as I said it.
49 all the way.
49 to South Main. Yeah, that's right. You knew. You were just trying to.
We thought you was asleep.
Well, hey, I still got another question though.
All right, I got a feeling what this is about.
Y'all gonna grade it for us and get it ready?
Yes, sir. So it'll be kind of rough graded, and it'll have utilities to the site.
So, okay, so you're gonna help us as much as you can on it. Hey, you good girl. I like it.
That's right. We talked about it. We talked with the chairman too about if it needs to be a little bit bigger, maybe depending on what size of facility that y'all need to put there. So.
Thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thank you. So on my end, I know there's been some questions just about, what is the development, where is its status, what's happening with it. So it has received all the city approvals, so it's ready to move forward and is going to start moving forward. We've already gone through that process. So really what the TIF is about is accelerating the growth to allow the commercial and the other stuff that we want to bring in there come in sooner. So that roadway, that connection that she mentioned from 49 all the way over to South Main, and then a little bit of improvement over all the way to Tom Austin, getting that to happen faster and moving that forward drives the numbers that you see in some that she mentioned in those tax equations, that first 20 years. And I think she said 20 years total. That's just the first 20 years. So that $96.4 million, that's the first 20 years as you ramp up in new property taxes, and you'll continue to receive those after that. So it'll keep coming. So it's not, we're kind of looking at that model as in, how do you get there? So it's $7.5 million a year once it's fully built out on the property tax side for just the county alone. And then we've got all the other amenities that come with it. So this is, again, a fairly large development. especially for Springfield and Robertson County. But it's in an area that was planned that way. It's in the growth corridor. It is where the infrastructure was already in place, the water, the sewer, and the road network that was planned for 2044. We're just accelerating that earlier. And with this TIF, we can kind of bring that in and allow all that activity, that economic engine to come in much sooner and help out. I think as Madison mentioned, usually it's the doors that come first. It's the houses have to come in order to get the commercial to come in place. By building that road first, and I call it the spine, as we then that drives all of that volume of vehicle traffic to that one direction, and finally solve some of the traffic patterns that problems that have been happening to get from Highway 49 over to the Walmart on Tom Austin. Otherwise you're going through Central. So the model that we had out there on the traffic study actually shows an improvement on the downtown traffic flow as soon as we get the boulevard built. And then over time, yes, additional cars are coming, but that additional growth is coming one way or the other. And so that approach you have out there is like, well, why this kind of condensed growth and why one development that's cohesive? And it's because, you're tired of seeing growth that's not there. So imagine 512 acres and, we'll just get rid of 12 acres of road and say another little road goes through there and you've got 10 50 acre developments in there. Kind of the typical you've seen, all throughout, Robertson County right now. None of them match up. None of them have any integration to them. None of them are worried about connectivity from one to the other and what commercial activities or anything else are there. Vesper Village changes all that. This is smart growth and smart development. That you have the interconnectivity. It's one large development, but all have separate pockets. Those little independent pockets are still there, but there's an overall arching plan, the development committee that's there, that all of this has to come through and has to meet those criteria. So you're not getting this hodgepodge of different growth. You're not getting 10 streets all dumping out in different directions. They're not lining up. So you've got 2 stop signs 50 feet apart from each other. We have everything lined up and appropriate so that the traffic flow patterns for both, whether you're bicycling, you're driving, or you're walking in there, it's all there. And then we've added the community benefits to it. So we've got, the Village Green, which is a downtown and core area. We've got over 8 miles of pathways for the Greenway connecting up downtown Springfield down to their main park. We're adding in additional improvements for the stormwater drainage systems that were there from all the activity that happened on Tom Austin in the past that's draining to the west. We're adding in regional stormwater issues that we're trying to address, some of those past issues that we can do with this development. And the list keeps, going on, whether it be, helping with EMS or maybe working with, the Branford Elementary School to try to find a better way for parking on the back end of their property. And then, of course, with Robertson County Sports Alliance, working to try to find a way to be able to basically bring the FEMA building in place, but also bring in those sports fields on areas we already had designated. We have over 20% green space designated in this development. So we're not just, cramming all the homes in. We're trying to find ways that, have, green space, the walkable nature, bring in the other activities that people are really wanting in the area and trying to, keep the character of what's happening in that area. Even on the north side, on the Brantford side, we're bringing in, smaller homes in an area that meet the character up there. They're affordable homes. They're lower priced because of the square footage, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to meet the standard that we have within the development. They are still having to meet the entire standard for whether we have the, brick on the front, facade looking the way the fascia boards are. Everything is completely mapped out for the entire community, and doesn't matter who comes in to build, they have to follow that plan. That is the overall zoning that's in place for that property. So appreciate your guys' thoughts. Any questions, I'm happy to answer them as well. And I know Jake, you may want to add something or not. You're good? Okay. There we go. So happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Jason? Eric Roberts.
What you're saying, if this TIF don't go through and it's not a 4-lane and it becomes a 2-lane, is it nothing else but homes in a 2-lane road?
Well, we're still going to put the same road's going to come in one way or the other. So the development has the road coming in. It's just the timing. If the TIF doesn't happen, then that road will probably come in like year 10, 15. You've lost kind of that drive. So, you're going to have to, you'll see it be typical of a lot of other things. You'll see rooftops kind of coming in around, and then eventually the grocery store comes in, and then eventually some restaurants come in, and eventually some of the other stuff comes in. That's where the tax base, the real uplift is in those commercial developments, the hotel and some other things. So you want to try to drive those in early as you can. And we really need the TIF to be able to help drive that activity while we're getting the rooftops in at the beginning. So it's really just trying to accelerate the process and bring the revenue in faster so that you're not sitting back at the end going, okay, well, we've got the rooftops, but we really didn't get a huge uplift from the homes. And now we need to pay for EMS and we've got schools and everything. This drives everything to the beginning of trying to say, let's get the other commercial activities in there and build on that and get that $96.4 million in that very short period of time, that first 20 years, so that you're able to pay for everything, as it goes forward. So it really pays for itself and is in additional to what the county needs for additional growth in the area.
But if you don't get the TIF, there's no guarantee that everything that you're talking about is going to be there.
Everything that we're planning in this development still will be there. It's all part of the SP. It's just the timing. That's really what we're talking about here is do you want this now and in the next few years, or do you want to wait for year 8, 9, and 10 by the time you see connectivity on half of it, and then finally it gets connected together in year 15?
But either way,
all in the first 5 years, and everybody can get through there, and you start seeing all the restaurants and see everything else starting to build on the site. Sorry, go ahead.
But either way, you're putting the same amount of homes regardless.
Correct. Yeah, the growth will still be there.
I'll step in for a second. It also depends, how nice it'll be, right? And how fast we can do all these things, to Jason's point. And I'm a big why person. And so here's kind of why, really, I think what we're getting at is why we're asking for this. And so obviously part of it is all the things with the commercial. We want to get the commercial in there. If the road doesn't connect, then who knows when the commercial comes. And to get those tax revenues that we show and have talked through, you have to have that commercial, right? If not, you just don't get anywhere near close to that when you do just single family homes, which is what we would do. And so I like to look at it and say, all right, to Jason's point, Vesper Village is it's multiple communities designed into one community to be cohesive. But I like to compare it to, let's say, a 10-acre development with 20 homes on it. If I do that, I've got to go in and build just the infrastructure for those 20 homes, which is the road, the site work, just the land for those 20 homes, and just build those 20 homes. And that may take a year or two, right? It's just kind of one cycle. But for us to go in and do this on the front end, to do all of these things on the front end before we have any either residents, tenants, restaurants, we could never get that financed, right? And so you have to be creative to be able to do that, to get all these things on the front end, which is why a TIF is creative financing, right? There were people before that tried to do this and they just couldn't. And so I hope we are your biggest fans, because there's never a development that doesn't do well when the county isn't doing well. So if the county's successful, that's the only way for us to be successful. And so we want to ensure that we're hopefully a part of that. And so that's kind of the why we're asking, so we can do this the right way and not start out and do single family homes till who knows when we can afford to put the road in and do the commercial.
Commissioner Hogan?
Sometimes when you travel down the road, you go too fast. Too many curves, not equipped, too many potholes. This development here reminds me of what happened in Franklin, Tennessee with West Haven. Are y'all patterning the same thing after West Haven?
No, sir. What do you mean by?
Okay, you don't know the situation. So I'm through.
Okay.
Oh, I can speak just a little bit. So West Haven is enormous and it is it is huge, and it is it's a beautiful development. And I think that there is a similar type of live and work and play element that is at play here, with, how that has the commercial on the front, right? The Kroger, fire station, Gold's, there's lots of restaurants. I think there's even a Vanderbilt clinic in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many units West Haven was when it started, but I can guarantee you that it's bigger now than what this is going to be, just with all the expansions. And this does not, what this project has that West Haven doesn't is an immediate benefit to the existing residents of Robertson County. So where West Haven is located in Williamson County, it was kind of a long Mac Catcher, and they got a Mac Catcher extension. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with that, but they did, but it was like 20 years later. Once everybody had moved out there and it was built up and traffic was a nightmare and nobody could get to 65. Here, this TIF design, this public incentive, is designed to provide not only the benefit, yes, to this development, so that the commercial, tenants and will start to look at this project sooner, because there'll be a way to get in it from South Main and not Tom Austin. But it's that it will allow for your EMS, for your just residents, for anybody in the county and in the city of Springfield that needs to get between those two roads. it will allow that a lot sooner, and a lot quicker than if you wait and it happens when the Mac Hatcher extension happens 15, 20 years after the development starts. So I think that similar in the sense of the mix of commercial, mix of housing types. I think that this project is better for the people that already live here, and not just the people that are gonna maybe move here because of this and because of the housing that comes with it.
Mr. Chairman, can I still have the floor? I'm not done.
Okay.
West Haven did have problems down through there. They built a beautiful golf course, no doubt about it. But there were issues involved as well. And so I just don't want to see this county get in that situation and do accordingly.
Yes, sir.
I know this is a smaller development, but they did build a golf course, but they did build the infrastructure and the others. There were some problems in that development. So I just bring that up. Now I'm done.
Thank you, Commissioner Hogan. I think Commissioner Rummel's next.
A couple of questions. The 20-year clock, when does that start to tick?
It starts when the developer clocks in each parcel. So it's a little complicated, and it's probably one of the most complicated aspects of this is that each parcel in this development will get 20 years of abatement, excuse me, that's my pilot hat, of TIF. And so the documents provide, I believe it's 2035 is when they all have to roll in.
Correct.
And so up until then, every year, the developer will elect to add parcels into the TIF. And that is this phasing aspect is something that is different than the other Robertson County TIFs, at least the ones that I'm familiar with, Greenbrier, Chick-fil-A, the shops at Moreland. And it's something that will take a little bit of administration. I know we talked to the budget committee about how the property assessor and the trustee are going to handle it. I've had multiple conversations with Chris Trauber about that. He thinks that their office can do it, can handle it fine, that it just is going to take a little bit of thinking. But so it'll be the developer will elect this slate of parcels to start their TIF, basically when there's improvements on them. So you're not wasting part of your 20-year time period on the parcels, especially more towards the middle, that aren't getting developed as quickly as the ones more on the ends of the development.
And how many total phases? How many total phases are there?
So it's not as much tracked to the phasing of the actual development as much as it's annually every year the developer will say up until 2035. So I would imagine that, there's nothing for 25, probably not for 26 either. So I think we're talking probably ballpark 7 or 8, just however many years.
So for some of these phases, then the clock won't start ticking until theoretically 2035?
At the latest. Yes, at the latest. Yes, sir. So 2035. So then the latest TIF payment on those would be 2055.
And and these are your projections on what's expected. If your projections were to fall short, is the county at risk?
No, sir, absolutely not. So that's what's the beauty of the TIF is that it's completely on the developer. We've come here, hopefully asking for this TIF, but then the developer has to go out and get its own financing. So the only thing that you as the county are obligated to do is to transfer any increment that's developed on these parcels into a designated fund that then gets, to the bank or reimbursed directly to the developer. And if that's not enough money to cover his risk, that's on him, and that's his problem with his bank. So if the material never materializes like we think it will in these projections, then there's no risk. It's non-recourse to the county in every single way, to the IDB county and city. But I think that importantly, he has every economic motivation and incentive to get going and to start developing these parcels to increase their value and the property taxes that are being collected on them, so that he can get paid back for what he's going to spend on this road, because he's going to have to outlay this money whether it's their money or their bank's money, because of the completion timeline of what he's got. He's got 5 years once he start to get this road built. And so there's not going to be a lot of increment and there's going to be a lot of cost. And so he's banking on what this road is going to do for this development. He's betting on the future and betting on what his plan is going to bring to market and to be valuable, to sell lots and to bring commercial tenants and to have a successful development.
And like, I was just saying, and like Madison said earlier, it'll be bonded on the front end to ensure it gets completed. So no matter what, once it starts, it'll get completed.
Yes, very good. Thank you. I was at the budget meeting when this was discussed. Appreciate your time that you've devoted to this for the community. I met with Mr. Muse separately as well to look at this very closely and in detail. I think it's good for the community. We're not voting on whether to do the Vesper Village development here tonight. It's happening. What we are voting on really is a good incremental planned approach to make sure it's done well for the community, and I support it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you're correct. It has received the requisite City of Springfield zoning and plan, and that's the specific plan document that both Jason and Jake mentioned. So I appreciate that.
Commissioner Head Heber.
Okay, what guarantees do y'all have for the commercial projects that you plan on coming in if the TIF's approved?
What guarantees do we
What
have?
guarantees have y'all already got?
So we can't get an official guarantee right now because we can't tell somebody when the road is coming. And so obviously for commercial, their whole thing is, well, when is the road
And y'all
coming?
can't turn any dirt until what, June of next year?
Well, we can't turn any dirt in the areas that are the salamander areas until June. That's right. But then the areas outside of that we can. And then
And
the
is-
commercial guys are just waiting for us to give them
And
timing.
is the road portion?
A portion, part of, and this is where Jason will probably need to help me,
Sorry.
but a part of the road on the east side is in the salamander, but that's kind of just at the entrance off of Main.
And I mean, I know for a long time, we tried to get, when I was with the city, we tried to get a Chick-fil-A in here, and I kept being told that the demographics were not gonna support a Chick-fil-A, and then for years later, it's when they got one. Because I guess the demographics had improved, they looked for the draw and everything like that. I'm concerned that the demographics are still not there for some of the projects of the commercial that you all have sort of spouted that.
So the beauty for y'all is y'all don't have to take that risk. We're taking 100% of that risk. And then if your concern happens, which we don't think it would, obviously, or we wouldn't have spent all the time and money that we have, then y'all just get a road. Get an awesome road that goes through there.
You don't get a road, the city gets a road.
Well, everybody in the county can use it.
No, but it's in the city limits. This is, yeah, but
And it's in the county. Okay. It's in your 2044, plan in order to have that road in place to be able to have ready for growth for the county, not just for the city.
But I mean, I'm just saying, it's not in the county itself.
Commissioner,
What is it?
let's see. I got Commissioner Woodard next.
Oh, most of my concerns have been addressed during the waiting for my turn, but this community greatly needs this economic impact, especially in that area of our town. And I don't see how this impact is going to be an adverse effect to the county. And if it's not costing us any money, and we don't see about holding up progress, and some of the things that they're offering, it's definitely been needed in there. And then I'm thankful for the work that's been put in up front. That's one comment I want to make, because a lot of time the roads don't actually materialize until the houses are there. So this is a good moment that we can think about, that we actually getting some infrastructure before we get the houses. And it's usually been the opposite way, but I want to thank you for putting the time in and effort to give us some explanation, and things have been thought out in the head instead of waiting until we make these okays and then we worry about the infrastructure later. But I just want to commend you on that. And also, if it's been any study of what we're going to do with adding these people, what we're going to do about a school. Now, I know there's been some comments made about that, but I don't think we have any concrete things going about, because we know if we add these people, we're going to have a school. And this commission is going to have to take that in consideration. So I just think it's one concern that I have. But everything else has been addressed, and I think you've been very forthcoming and giving us all the information that we need to make a decision. So thank you.
Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all listening to us and just being so invested in it throughout the whole process. It's just been nice to see a community that cares as much. And I think that's why y'all see a lot of these things that you're getting, because y'all have all had a great influence on it. So thank you.
Commissioner Pierce?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I guess, Bobby, good. From the budget perspective, will we be out 27? I'm getting a little lost. Will we be out money at the beginning to invest in this, or we're?
No, the way I understand it, and Tim, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
We get covered. We're going to be made whole for everything we were getting. And then after everybody's made whole, there's a 70-30 split.
Yeah, even more so that you'll be made whole to the tune of the $42,609 every year. Then you'll get 12% of whatever is left for your dedicated service, for your tax debt service, dedicated tax debt service. And then you'll get an additional 32.8% of whatever's left. And that's the school's piece. And to your point, I think that, there's brighter minds that I've never built a school before, but y'all build them a lot, to think about, that there's some money that's allocated here, for the school system, that hopefully will come in before all the majority of the houses. And so that'll be 32.8% every year. And then after those amounts are taken out, then there's a 70-30 split. So all things being considered, that you should receive at least some additional, like starting year one, because you're going to get more than what you otherwise would have gotten. And remind me, I'm not sure exactly what cycle of reappraisal that they're on, but taking it to, the reassessment and, pretty soon. So even without the development going vertical.
Last question.
Through Mr. Pierce.
There's just one more, Mayor. Is this y'all's first? This is not y'all's first high density development, right?
No,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. I think so. Based on your experience, how long does it actually take the 3,200 homes? I don't think a grocery store was to come in the middle of construction. Like how long does it normally, or
So
do they?
there's a phasing aspect to that, right? Like if they had to go through where all the homes were, which that's kind of one of the purposes of the main boulevard, is that a good way to think of it is like that's the main boulevard going through, and a lot of the commercial will be off of that, right? And then the single family is off of all that. So it'll have that's why they want to be there, right? It's got the easy access in and out. And then to get to the single family and other things, you'll go off and there may be a park behind the commercial, and then you got to go back to the single family, but it'll be kind of off. And then we do have more neighborhood commercial kind of interspersed throughout there, but they're used to that because, it's like your more local coffee shops and bike shops.
So are you targeting the commercial first almost? Or?
I mean, we want the commercial to come as soon as possible, to be honest. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, Jason probably should have told, he worked for Barge Wagner. And boy, they're the Cadillac. I ain't kidding. Water plant used it for a while. We couldn't afford them.
I had to drop down to a GMC, unfortunately.
Bubba Doris, you want to talk next?
Yeah, I got a quote. I ain't never been a part of something like this. Y'all come in here, are y'all gonna try and use local people as much as you can, or y'all gonna try and bring in these big outfits to build your houses?
Heck, y'all were so tough you brought me in, I had to move here. So, we'll be choosing local people. Yes, sir. We are, the only people we've talked to are local contractors.
Okay, well, that's, we got lumber yards and everything else.
That's right.
Bypass and become lumber from somewhere else and stuff.
No, and to be honest, you're gonna get your best prices locally too, and we obviously want to support local, so that's.
I appreciate that as much as I can, sir.
Commissioner Brinkley.
All right, I just have this one question and something that kind of caught me. So being the 20-year, but what I understand, this could go to the year of 2055. Is that what I gathered? As the parcels, that could be the last date?
Yes, sir. That could be the last date of the 2035. If there's anything left that hasn't been rolled on, the developer, it's either you'll snooze it or, use it or lose it. So it's all going on in 2035, whether the development hasn't gotten ready for that yet or not yet. And so then that last tranche will be 2055 as the end date, but it will have been trickling off prior to that.
Anyone else? I don't mind.
Question.
Question. Seems like questions being called. Madam Clerk, you remember who made the motion?
Yes. Mr. Counts.
All right, you know who's made the second?
Commissioner Rowe.
Commissioner Roman. Now, Is question being called?
Yes.
If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. I'm sorry, Clyde, did you want to speak? I got 17 for, 5 against. I declare that resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioner Couts. Hey, those all good questions, y'all. And I think they've done a good job explaining it, so. Am I right on this, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Okay. The chair now recognizes Commissioner Stubblefield representing EMS.
Bring to you resolution number 121-525-111. It's a resolution to declare surplus property for the EMS.
Got a second by Commissioner Michael Doris. You any questions for Faye?
Question.
Question being called. If you're for a resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. Got 22 for, 0 against. That resolution passes. Moving on to old business. You got any old business to bring before the commission? In new business, I'd like to introduce my wife. Have you ever been to a meeting, Cindy? You stand up, you will, I want everybody to recognize y'all. Because, let me tell you something, being a mayor, it puts a strain on the family, don't it? Huh?
Yeah.
County Commissioners, I've got a Christmas gift for you commissioners down at my truck, and Will be down there. I want you to look, see and recognize what he looked like. Or is any more?
Just a younger mayor. Younger version.
Any new business to bring before the commission? Seeing none, the chair recognizes Commissioner Bobby Hogan with the notaries.
Mr. Mayor, I have reviewed and signed the application for those wishing to become a notary. I recommend that we elect all those that have applied to be a notary for the county of Robertson and the great state of Tennessee.
I got a second by Commissioner Dr. Martin. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody oppose that? No move. Looking for one more motion right now.
Turn, sir.
Got a motion by Commissioner Michael Doris to adjourn. All say aye.
Aye.